next week. I need the other one.
All right, go ahead and check a baseline movement out, and we will get going. So a baseline movement is a movement that you can repeat, but is also a very repeatable movement, like something like a forward fold, because your hamstrings always feel tight, lower back feels tight, or a squat is a nice baseline movement. If you do a squat, make sure you draw the knees away from center. You're not folding in half like in a hinge. Giving yourself that opportunity to check a baseline will also help you see what movements and what resets really help and make a difference in your movement. So after you've done that, let's come on down. And let's start on our back. Lay back on the ground. I guess just me. And then, so just lay back on the ground, and we're just gonna get settled in for a second. And the idea here is we're doing, the movements are, again, resets. So a reset is like the idea of taking and hitting that reset button on your computer to get rid of the junk, to get rid of the extra screens, to get rid of all the stuff that's just kind of slowing your computer down. Think of that as the breath. Whenever we breathe diaphragmatically, that resets the nervous system. When we move our eyes and our head, then our body, we're resetting our vestibular system. And then when we move in a gait pattern, rocking, rolling, cross-crawling, movements that would initiate and lead to walking patterns, those are also resets to our physical body, but connect all three together. So again, diaphragmatic breathing, vestibular movements, and then gait pattern. So go ahead and just feet relaxed. You can have them extended out if that's comfortable for you. Knees bent, head back, shoulders back, rib cage down. And just start taking some nice long deep breaths. So all breaths are diaphragmatic. All breaths move the diaphragm. But when we intentionally move through and breathe through the nose with the tongue against the roof of the mouth, we actually draw deeper into the diaphragm, into the width of the rib cage, and then settle through what's called the vagus nerve, which controls that need to be in fight or flight. It pulls us more over to the rest and calm and restore nervous system. And then if you're outside or inside or wherever you are, just allow kind of the world around you to not be in your thought process, but just look at the ceiling, or look at the sky, look through the trees, or look up at whatever you're looking at, and just enjoy the view. I guess if you're in a house, it would be like, you put, like, I don't know, John Bon Jovi on your ceiling, I don't know, or, Cyndi Lauper, whatever's your thing. Cyndi Lauper over like a sex symbol, or I don't know. Dating myself. My girlfriend and I when we were younger, we swapped clothing styles. I was very preppy, and she was very Cyndi Lauper. I wore her Cyndi Lauper clothes one day to school. I felt like it was in a costume. A couple more long, deep breaths into the rib wall. Just enjoy that feeling of settling. And then as you can, as it's comfortable, begin moving your eyes. Look up, away from into your eyebrows. Look down towards your nose, and again up towards your eyebrows or forehead. Add your head nod into it. Look up. As you look down, sink the chin to your rib wall and pick your head up. Roll yourself back, and again pick yourself up. See if you can really curl your body up and forward. Curl yourself up. Lower yourself back, chin in, chin back. So realize when you pull your chin to your sternum and draw your forehead forward, you're actually tightening or pulling tension on the nerve line in your back. When you tip your chin up and your head drops back more, you're actually lengthening it. You're giving it more space. So this is what's called flossing a nerve, where you can kind of move that nerve inside where it kind of sets And nicely, nerves, veins all kind of work in that same channel, so we get kind of compression and extension on the nerve lines. 2 more. Chin in, curl up, and lower back. And 1 more. Look to your right and look to your left just with your eyes first. The reason why we start with just the eyes first is so we can connect into the vestibular slowly. That vestibular is what gives you balance. So if you go too quick, too fast, too much, too soon, you can get dizzy really quickly or headachy. And you don't want to necessarily do that. So be aware very often, because we don't move our eyes that much, oddly enough. We think we do, but we move our body towards the things that we want to get. Turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left. Look with your eyes first. And anyways, your mama said that when you'd go into the store when you were a kid. Look with your eyes, not with your hands. So we want to learn to look with our eyes, learn to move our eyes, move those muscles inside of our head. I would say 3 big things that we don't want to get weak as we get older: our feet, our hands, and our eyes. But yet they do very easily. We forget that those are an integral part to all of our movements. Sensory nerves, motor nerves, giving ourselves that kind of need for balance. Go ahead and bring your head center, bring your knees up, one then the other, arms kind of over your head. Maybe feel that stretch in your chest. And then just touch your right hand, drop your left foot. And then touch your left hand to your right knee. And then opposite. So you're doing kind of a dead bug or kind of a really easy cross crawl. Now if this is feeling too much, you can just keep your foot on the ground, bring your hand to your knee. And too much isn't like, oh, I'm not good at it or anything, or it could be that, but it's not like it necessarily hurts. It's just like you feel like you can't coordinate it yet. Maybe it's too, for anybody, maybe you just want to just go easy today. 2 more. It's okay to do less in this type of work. It's okay to do less anytime. It's just, why are you doing less? Why are you doing less? 1 or 2 more times like this. Then we're going to bring those knees back up if your feet are flat. And you're going to dead bug. Breathing. Take those arms, right arm away from left arm away from right leg. If you're extending your knee out, watch that you're not lowering your leg too low, because you don't want to put the work into your lower back. You want to find that work coming out of that front line of the body, the core, the shoulders, the chest. Even the upper back is part of this motion. 3 more each arm and leg. 2 more. And last ones. All right, so we did kind of the big 3. Roll yourself up, recheck your baseline, squat, forward, fold, whatever you did. Maybe you did a push-up, maybe you did a bird dog. And just notice if it's just same, better, or different. Or another way to look at it is you start out good, no matter how you start. You got here, that's good. Can you feel like it's better, or is that your best movement ever? Let's come on back to the ground, start seated. Knees are up, arms are nice and wide, chest is lifted. So widen out those hands so that you're not just jamming the shoulders up. Give yourself some space and begin by moving the knees right and left. Now the trick is to not scoot. I haven't figured out the trick not to scoot, but there's a trick somewhere, I'm sure. There's a trick for everything. Breathing. Just allow your chest to stay high. Watch that you're not slumping into your shoulders. Try to breathe as you move. Go ahead and add a rotation to this. So take your one hand around and then the other hand around. add a fold, take your hand around, come down to the ground, look over your top shoulder, take your top arm up, let your arms do the leading, head do the leading, roll all the way down to your forearms. Look over your top shoulder, push yourself up, continue to roll all the way around, come all the way to your forearms. Look up, rotate up, all the way around, come all the way to the ground. Look up, rotate up, all the way around. One more time here. And then back up. Good. Swing your feet out from in front of you. Come into all fours. Knees rocking. Toes pointing back. Head and chest is up. Now for a lot of people, this bugs their arches in their feet. Partly because the calves may be too tight. So if you need to, just curl your toes. Or curl your toes, see if it stretches itself out again, and then point the toes back again. Single arm, knees rocking. So single arm knees rocking is nice because there's that core element to it more. Other arm, single arm knees rocking. Try to keep that head up. Move from underside of that right arm. So you're pulling that right arm towards your chest and then almost pushing yourself backward. Back to two-handed knees rocking, curl those toes under, spread your toes if you can, and feel this squat-like pattern as you sink into your hips. Now, if you sit a lot throughout the day, this is a great movement pattern. If you're having trouble with your squat, like you find that you fold or collapse into your knees or your hips, this is a great way to practice the squat. All right, let's come down to the forearms. Same motion. Widen out those knees a little bit wider. Even turn the toes out if you can. Think of kind of like a frog. Back up to your hands. Let's stick one leg out, about 90 degrees to the body. Again, work that neck and head. So when you lift that head up, you're working the posterior chain, the back side of the body. And that's that movement, that's the side that gets wrecked the most. Very rarely do people go to the doctor for, I've hurt my abdominals and I can't go to work. Most of the time, I would say, well, it is true. Number one reason why people go to the doctor other than for a common cold is their back. So strengthening our back through extending the neck, through keeping the posture nice and long, working the back line of the body, so important. Switch sides or legs. Right knee comes in, left leg goes out. So in part of lower back or any kind of back issue you get, head is really heavy. And so you want to make sure that you keep that head up, at least in line with the shoulders. Then you're looking at whether or not your hips are mobile, because that's going to restrict the movement of your lower back or force movement into your lower back that shouldn't be there. Good, and then let's come back in center, and again, just regular knees rocking. You may feel like you can go a little bit deeper now in that hip. Do 3. And last one. All right, go ahead and come on up and recheck your baseline. Good. And when you recheck that baseline, you may notice that it just is, maybe it's just easier to get down. Like the movement's no further. Like once you can touch your hands to the floor, it's not like, oh, I can go below the floor. You probably won't ever get your head to the floor. Just probably won't functionally work that way. So you're not necessarily looking at any more quantitative. You're looking at qualitative after a while. All right, standing up, we're going to start at one end of the mat, cross crawls. Right hand to left knee, left hand to right knee. And then we're going to transition over to the other side of the mat, cross crawling. And then we're going to get back into, bring your right hand to your left knee, take your left knee down to the ground as best you can, or as low as you can. So my left hand is forward, my right hand is back. Then I'm going to bring my right hand forward, touch my left knee again, and cross crawl back. So you can work on the timing yourself. So as soon as you touch your left hand to your right knee, you're going to then drop back and come back up and cross crawl back. When you take your right hand to your left knee, pause, step back, step up, and cross crawl back. So it's the outside leg that's going to pause, drop down, and then come back up. Now you can take more time so that you're not losing balance. Pause, take that outside knee down, take that knee back up, and cross crawl. You've got 2 more times. Outside knee up, outside knee down, outside knee up, and cross crawl. Outside knee up, outside knee down, back up, and one more time, cross crawl. Nice job. Good, turn towards the long end of your mat, slide your hands down the front of your shins, and back up. So you're doing kind of a hinge, almost like a knees rocking. Do 4 more. 3, eyes, head, and chest up. 2, just go to about mid-shin. And last one, from here, walk your hands forward until you get all the way into a push-up position. Knees on the ground. 5 knees rocking. Head up and chest up. Go back to your plank. Walk your hands back. Heels on the ground. And slide back up again. Hinging. 2, 3, 4, 5. On your 5th, walk your hands out in front of you till you get to plank. Drop your knees in. 5 knees rocking with your knees on the ground. Back to plank. Walk yourself back. Keep your hips low. And then come up for the hinge. Once more, down, or twice, once more like that. Down, knees rocking. Back to push-up position. Walk your hands back. Hinge to stand. Hinge in place. This time when you go down, you're going to keep your knees off the ground and you're going to stay in knees rocking. Hands to your shins. Walk your hands out. Knees rocking. knees off the ground. Walk your hands back. Come back up. 2 more, guys. Go slower if you need to. Do less. Go back to knees rocking on the ground. Walk forward again. Knees rocking. Walk back. Hinge up. This is your last set like this.
This was supposed to be the nice relaxing. I was gonna say, wait, which class is this?
1 more set of knees rocking.
I was just like, I'm never coming back to this.
And 1 more. All the way up into push-up, hold, drop your knees, drop yourself. Make a pillow out of your hands and bring that forehead to your pillow. Bring your hands far enough out in front of you so you can get your whole chest down. And let's go back to that diaphragmatic breath again. Tongue at the roof of your mouth, breathe through the nose, just release that need to hold that stress and tension. To fight or flight through this whole thing, you just did a strong movement. Bring yourself up on your forearms and nod your head. Lift your chin up. Notice as I nod my head, I even move my upper back. So I'm rounding my upper back, dropping my ribs, pulling my chin in. So there's more than just nodding my head, even though you can do that. And again, widen out your arms, look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder. Feel that movement around the rib wall. So you're moving your obliques when you do this. This right here, this area kind of upper back is obliques, quadratus lumborum. Sounds like something's very scientific-y. Well, it is. It's science. 1 more, 2 more times. Good. Look over, or bring your right knee up. Take your right hand and look over your right shoulder. Look back, hand down, knee down. Knee up, hand, and look over. Look back, knee and hand. Look over. Add an arm extension. Look back, reach back. Come back in. Look back, reach back. Once more here. And a quarter roll, upper body. Reach your left arm out, look over your right shoulder, take your right arm up, roll to your upper back. Your leg is on the ground still, your hip is rolled off a little bit. Pick up your head, look at your left hand, roll back. Keep your head up, take your left arm over, pick your head up, roll back, and open. And back. And open. And back. And open. Once more. And back. Good. Pause. Walk those elbows back. Little child's pose. Big deep breath. Round your back. Roll yourself up. Come into an up stretch as it's comfortable. Lift the hips. Sink back to the heels. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet in. Walk your hands back. Roll yourself up. And recheck your baseline. Good. Nice. Well done, guys. Yay. All done and done.
Really good. This is the first class, Susie.